Yes.
So just nice and light. We're going to start here, stretching up, just swinging the arms through the body. Swinging down. Keep the arm very light. Sorry, very heavy. Really going through the knees. Good. Keep going. So try in this case, look for kind of flexibility from the base of the body. So really pressing out from the ground and then swinging down. In this case, don't hold and then swing down. Just freely move. So the movement continues until the arms feel just heavy and they just drop. Just drop. Drop. And really allow the knees to be free. You get a kind of, there's a slight double bounce in the movement if I allow it. Swing through. Keeping the whole arm heavy, like a thick rope. Sick, great. Good. Okay, so the next one is for the hips. You start like this, neutral, with the hands out, and then you curl the hip down. So you go neutral. The front hand reaches for the shoulder, and then for the back. Do this really slow, so take your time with it. And keep it moving. No pause in it. Just keep it moving. Sink it down. Focusing on the hip rotation into the ground. And then just pick up this pace a little bit. Good, keep going. The kind of side exercise for this one, the side exercise is you're going to kind of throw the hand out. Lost. Da, 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 da. Okay, here. You're going to kind of throw the hand out. So now you kind of throw it. Throw it. You're going to kind of be, it's called like noodling. You kind of got to noodle the arm. So there's totally nothing in them. You let them drop, and then just throw the hand out. Throw the hand out. Kind of related, but it's slightly looser now. So connect. And you just connect through intention. Into the hand out. Feel almost like a direct connection between the hand and the hip. You just send your mind and the hand where you want your mind to go. In this case, the shoulder. Shoulder. It's like a ragdoll. No power in it. Be like a ragdoll. That's it. That's it. Great. And there's another exercise you can do very similar. Hopefully you can see it's a bit tricky for sure. You bend down from here and let the arms just drape, hang here. And then what you're going to do is use the hip. You're going to open from the center and the hip. Don't do anything with the arm. So this is not an arm making circles with the arm, but it's in the hip out. On the shoulder joint, just let it hang. Hang down. Keep the head with the hips in the lower body. Generate circles without doing anything in the arm. Yeah, you see. Yeah. Let the arms just be heavy and loose. And really feel what the effect is with your hip movement in the arm. You just feel. That's it. Good. And then this is the same, just with a slightly different movement of the lower body. So come to here now. You're going to kind of swing it so that the arms cross up and open. And as I'm raising with the hand. Again, the arms movements directed from the ground in the hip. So just let the arms very loose. Again, this is an exercise that is easier with an object, with a ball, so that you can get some kind of feedback, and you can allow the limbs to really relax and release. So just try this now. It's a slightly different hip movement, kind of swaying side to side. That's it. Great. Nice. Good. Okay, slowly coming back up. For the shoulders, really, you're going to kind of do this movement now. Just front and back. And again from the hips. Very similar to this exercise, but now forward and backwards up. You're going to send the hand out, forward, front and back. Allow the spine to rotate in it. So in this case, don't kind of just twist the shoulders, but allow the body to move, make the movement. Front and back. Front and back. Try and put as much feeling in the front hand as the back, or just notice what's going on. Opening out. You can get the movement so that the shoulders also point forward, and then really open the shoulder. The gate of the shoulder really open.
You okay? You okay? Say, you okay? You okay? You okay? Very nice job. Very nice.
Good. Good. And then this is the same. You're going to start at the top now. So you curl down, and then you curl back up. Each time the neutral position's here, and let them swing down. You're going to kind of pulse them at this point, pulse them back up with the hip. You catch them with the hip. Catch them with the hip. This way. Again, try to get to a point where the shoulders begin to face front and back. So really spreading the shoulders. That's it. Good. Nice. Good. Hey, Roland. Good. Good. Okay, and then what you're going to do is join these two movements together. So starting from this position, you're going to coil down, and then you're going to twist the body so that the arms come down below, face the other direction, and then continue the rotation. So you do a full rotation, front, this way, and then here. And in this case, reverse the direction. So down, coil, up, and neutral. Each time go to neutral. Down, coil. Opening the shoulders up. And let the arms just be heavy and relaxed. Good. Okay, good. And then just really for the arms to kind of, when we do Aikido, you can't kind of keep them totally kind of relax in this way, in the way we've been doing. So you need to kind of send some kind of intention into them. So there's some kind of structure in the arm. It's not totally kind of rubbery. So in this case, with the arms, just to practice, you're going to kind of coil them in and out. Now again, it's led with the hips, but there's slightly more feeling of connecting the structure of the arm. So now using the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, and the fingers, but really working along the line of the arm. So go shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Work on the movement, kind of going this way. The same as you do with the strikes. In this case, just work with either one arm. Have a feeling of getting into the structure of the arm. Shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Super slow. Yeah. Super. Okay. And the kind of trick to this is, well, not the trick, but try and keep while I'm moving from the shoulder. There's still nothing in the elbow and the wrist. So what I don't want to do is kind of block the arm and then kind of do this. This looks really kind of rigid, right? So it looks kind of like my arm's like a block, or it looks kind of like a dense. And what I want to do is kind of light. So while I'm going the shoulder, keep this free, keep the elbow relaxed, and then as I move into the elbow, start to kind of fill the elbow, and then once I get past the elbow, fill the wrist, and then fill the hand. So have that kind of structure to it. But while you're in movement through the joint, have nothing in the part that's not being used. It's like water running through a hose, right? So it flows through, it flows out. So keep everything loose until it's being filled. And then just try with both hands. In this case, here, drawing it in and out. You can play with different kind of methods. Lots of different kind of methods for this, but just play with rolling. Or you can also open them out. A little bit like swimming in this case. It's like swimming. Coil them out. Lots of methods of doing this, but just explore. Hands move together. Coming Yeah. Good. Nice. And actually, the water or the swimming is actually a good image to have in your mind. My tendency is to just focus on me, my arm, and my hands, and what's going on in my own system. But try and really have a feel that you're not working against something, but you're working with the space as well. So really have a sense of what's going on between the hands, and what's going on in this space, and what's going on in the space behind me, and what's going on underneath the ground. So really have a total sense of the space that is surrounding you, and don't just isolate your feeling to you, but try and extend it out much more. So really get a sense of what's going on in between. This is in Japanese, we talk about the empty space, and the empty space is not empty. It's just not you, but you can fill it with feeling. So really, yeah, that's it. Good, great. And then just explore slightly different movements. So we talked yesterday about the hands working together or the hands splitting. In this case, the same thing. The hands are going to now start to kind of split. So a bit looser, less free, more free, and start to kind of split the joints in these kind of movements. Just kind of play with them. So the hands start to act independently. That's it. Good. Just really play with it. Yeah, great. But where I'm from in England, there's a town very close, Blackpool, and they're famous for making rock, this hard candy, sugar, right? Awful, but great for kids. But when they make it, it's like a really thick material. It's like this, and if you see them making it, it needs to be stretched and pulled, stretched and pulled, stretched and pulled. So it's something that's thick, heavy, and there's a kind of sense of pulling it apart, pulling it apart. Just work with some kind of image like this way, and really explore a sense of separation. You're actually connecting it. So the hands are connected to the hip with a sense of pulling the space, pulling and opening. That's it. Just play with it.
Starts to look like Tai Chi, Michael, like this.
For sure. Guilty. Good. Good. Okay, so we'll go to some kind of specific. If you've got a belt, take it now. If you have, you can do this without, so it's not necessary. You got a belt? Yeah. One. Good. Okay. We'll look at some specifics. So yeah, a lot of this is kind of Tai Chi influence, but the difference, the specific thing we practice in Aikido is this sense of kokyu, which tends to be this kind of movement. So really, the sense of kokyu is something specific to Aikido, or something not necessarily specific. It's in other arts, but it's something we focus on primarily. So just to practice it, you're going to take the belt like this, behind, like this, in two hands. You can see, hopefully, and it's kind of on the back hip. This fist protects on the back hip, and I take the belt here in the blade of the hand this way. Yeah, that's it. Ideally, let's see. Ideally, get it so that the belt passes over the elbow, over the top, this way. You see, just like this. Yeah. Got it. So connect it to the back hip, connect it to the front hand, like this. With the back hand, you can adjust the distance. Something like this. Okay, and just take a few moments, just with the feet square, and just pressing through with the hand. Just connecting, and just feel the connection between the feet and into the hand. Just work on the sense of koku here. So really spiraling with the hand. And just use the belt as a resistance. That's it. Good. Good. Keep going. Good. So in terms of the structure and the line, I'll show from the front so it's a bit clearer. From here, use the center line and kind of coil it through the structure. Coil it through the structure this way. Just be careful in this case. I don't want to work if I'm straight on with a flat posture. I don't want to curl out of the structure this way. But if I curl down, weight drops down, and then the hand comes out. Don't try and make a distinction in this case between pushing and stretching and spiraling and extension. So what we use is extension and connection. We don't use force of pushing and stretching. So it's not a stretching movement, it's a coil. So it's a coil spiral this way. Yeah. Really try and get a feel for the movement. That's it. Great. Nice, nice, nice. Good. And then do the same, just change hands. Hip on the back. This way. Over the elbow. This way. Keep this really fixed. So this way. This way. Also, try and work on your natural sense of extension. A lot of us, when we train, we kind of overextend. In this case, this is much too far. Or we underextend and we contract the system here. So just find the right, just allow the hand to come forward where it feels comfortable and strong. This way. And then once you've got the correct length, kind of fix it onto the back hip and coil with it. Good. Also feel in this case that the tension doesn't release and then come back on. It doesn't kind of release and then come back on, but the tension's actually always there here. It's not real tension, it's kind of tensegrity. So it's not a sense of real tension through the joint. That's it. Good. And maintain a sense of connection through the system. Good. Yeah, great. Good. You got it. Okay, good. So we're going to look at a Taina Henko movement, but you're going to do like this. Take the belt like this, and you're going to wrap it around the front foot this way, just above the ball, just below the ball of the foot. Yeah, and just find, hopefully your belt's the right length. You find like this, and you want to find the right kind of extension that's natural to you. Don't grab it, just wrap it around the hand. And you want the pressure, again, to be in the outside of the hand, so in the Tegatana part. So just try this. You go from here, expand into your extension, find the first movement, and roll it down. This way. Just adjust the belt for the direction. Then coil in this way, and then find your extension this way. And focus really on the connection between the hands and the feet. Just do a few. Here, extend, coil in, and stretching back. Yeah, give it a try. So wrapping around the front foot. Hopefully you've got a long enough belt. So again, the extension or the connection with the belt is really maintained. So in this case, you don't want to kind of slack off the belt here. In this case, you want to really keep it full. So as you go in, really feel that the tension is maintained through the joint here, and then here. Not the tension, the extension. So maintain extension through the belt. But anything I do which pulls in or pushes in, I will lose the tension here. So really have a sense of fullness here. Fullness. Give it a try. And you can do both sides, mix them up freely. In this case, also make sure the belt, the end, is coming down in this case it's on the outside of the hand. The outside? No, the inside, sorry. My inside. So it's in this part of the hand. The hand is connected to the foot. It's slightly wider. So in this case, on the outside. Just kind of take it with the thumb, extend, coil. Extend, and coil. Great. That's nice. And you can also, in this case, explore cross the hand. So take the belt in the other hand. Keep it on the front foot. So from here, explore this direction, coiling in. Again, maintain the tension. So this arm's going to open. Is be involved too. So here and coiling around the back. So this is the cross connection across the body. So the opposite leg. So find the extension, coil in, and spiral. Yeah, give it a try. So on the opposite foot, foot to hand. Oh. Okay, good. So that's like a tiny henko. We go to Morotodori. So this is very similar to Morotodori. You're gonna take the belt back in this position with the hand taking it, the hand on the hip. In this case, you can keep it behind or in front. Doesn't matter too much. The main thing is the connection with the hand to the hip. So this, you just practice the first movement. So this curse coil in. Now you're gonna coil the system this way, dropping the hips over this way. You can explore in this case with the belt in front, this way, and coiling. Coiling. Or you can explore it behind, or again over the top of the elbow. This way. This way. This way. This one gives you the most resistance and the most feedback. So draped over the elbow, coiling this way. Entering and coiling. Extension, enter, coil. Yeah, give it a try. So good. Okay, so now just play with the rest of the movement. Kind of tricky to get used to with the belt, but just try it here. This is the same coiling again. coiling. Now from this point, my backhand, I allow it to move through the belt, because if I keep the belt here, I can't find the extension, it's too tight. Unless you've got something that's a resistance band and really elastic. And in that case, you can do it. But allow now the backhand to roll through. So you're gonna find the second spiral and just allow the belt to roll through until you can find a good extension. Yeah, and then just readjust. Find the correct distance for your extension here. Spiral in, the first one. And then the second one, spiral up and over. Just allow the belt to shift through the hand on the second move. Oh. Oh. Good. So in this case, focus on the compression in the second spiral. So when you do this movement, really, my focus goes to this foot, and the spiral comes out from that foot. So this is across, the connection is across the body. So from this foot to this hand. So really focus on a spiral which comes from the ground and opens out this way. So really open the hip out and press through the belt this way and this way. Yeah, really give this a try. Really compression into the front foot and then coiling out. It's really a spiral. Coil this way. Coil this way. Yeah, give it a try. So there's two spirals in the movement. The first one's a spiral kind of inside the system with extension, and then the second one's a spiral that comes out of the body. Good, that's it. Okay, so we'll move to a kind of a technique. So it's really based on Ikkyo. So you're going to take the belt again in the hand. And this time it can be free. It can be just in front of the body here. It can also be behind, but just for now, keep it here. Extension through, like a katatedori. You're going to slide out this way, and then you're going to coil up through the arm this way. Okay, so again, looking at kokyu, really get the belt so that it's in the heel of the hand here. So you start like a katatedori, find your extension, slice out to the side, and then from here, coil up from the hip. And again, allow this hand freedom to use the extension. So the extension grows through this movement. Just go that far. So the first slice, one, really like sword work. So slicing and then spiraling up. Give it a try. Yeah, good. And if you've got the movement, now take the belt to the back hip, and then coiling over the elbow this way, and then you get more feedback on the system. So this way coils out, and then this coils up this way. Slowly extension. So slicing and coiling up from the ground. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, this one is better, yeah.
Yeah, easier. Good.
Yeah.
That's it. Good. Oh. Oh. Good. Okay, everyone got it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take the next step. Sorry. The next step is to take the step. So you go here, slide the body in, here, and now you're just going to focus on the front hand. This is grasping and pressing in with the body with a step. So go 1, 2, coil down with the hips, and then take the step. Big, deep step. So go 1, 2, 3. You can keep the extension open, or you can take the grab like you would in the Aikido. So explore both. Here, coiling and stepping in, really with a sense of finishes at the end. So both sides. Oh. Hey. Oh. Hey. And also, really where this relates to the sword work is that when you do the sword work, when I do a different cut, so between a cut and a slice or a thrust, it's actually the quality. It's the quality in the hip work. So I change the hips to change the hand, change the hips to change my intention in the sword. So in the same way that when we do sword work, this kind of slicing movement, my feeling in the hip is totally different from a cut. So try and get a sense that I'm not just slicing with the hand, but I'm actually slicing from the hip. So the hip is actually doing the slice. And in the sense the hip is doing the cut. So my feeling in the hip is the cut. And my feeling in the hip is the slice. My feeling in the hip is the spiral up. So try and actually generate the intention of the movement from the hip. So feeling the slice from the hip, not just with the hand. Just try. You can also use a bokken as well, just to get a real feeling for this kind of idea. So we'll go to like an Ikkyo Ura, so very similar, just now at a rotation. So go. Not the same way, so a slice out. And now from here, as I make this movement, I adjust the foot. I adjust the foot, and then I do the rotation. So I slice out, coil up with the foot this way, and then spiral. So it's 1. Because of the nature of the Ura, it's more flexible. So now you can do this in a basic way, but also practice it a little bit more fluidly. Slicing, rolling in. See a very difficult movement. the hardest technique in Aikido, I think. Ikkyo Urawaza. Just make sure you're changing hands each time, or every other. So we'll go to one more technique, to Iriminage. You can do these really with all the techniques. Some of them are a bit more difficult. The Nikkyo and Sankyo, difficult to slightly adapt to. It's like an Iriminage. So again, you can start at the front. Like a Shomaduchi, so you're going to start by bringing the hand up, and then coiling through with a step, coiling over, maintaining the extension through the system, and then coiling down. We go right to the back, this way, over the elbow, striking up, coiling, and then coiling the system back this way, and then with a step down. You get more feedback on the if it goes over the elbow. Coil in, and then coil back this way. Yeah, give it a try. So Shomanuchi, Iriminage. So in this case, we'll just break this down. So the key motion in this one, this is important. This is important. The key one is this end movement. So this kind of movement. So focus on, in this case, don't move the feet, just adjust the hip work with the hand. What you're really looking for is a wave through the body that is generated from the ground. Really just explore this kind of movement, very loose. So there's tension in the belt, but actually my joint system's free. So at all times, I'm trying to maintain freedom in the articulation, and I'm just trying to press weight through the arm. Just try explore. In this case, the Iriminage is kind of a strange movement. What is it? In this case, explore like a slap. So the hands loose, this kind of way. This kind of way. So it's actually a way we're really used to slapping from children, of really generating a wave. It's a very clear wave. This way, this way, this way, this way. And then once you've really got a feel for that, go back to a sense of being an Iriminage, which is going to coil this way. That's it. Good. Coil through the system. And again, the power of the throw is not done in the arm, it's done through the whole system, through the whole body. You really get a sense that the power of the movement from the ground. That's it. And then just the very last thing, the same exercise, but really get a sense that you go down the arm. So shoulder, elbow, wrist, hand, fingers. So really get a sense that the movement's going to be, it's going to kind of way through the joint. So shoulder, elbow, wrist, hand, fingers. Yeah, and try to get a sense of the transmission of the force. This way. This way. This way. Good. Good, and the very last thing, just from this position, you're going to kind of roll the body out, open the hip, and then find this sense of a wave. Now, as the wave starts to crash, you bring the body through. As the wave starts to come over, start to bring the body through. Connect. Roll back. Coil in. Roll back. Coil in. In the joint through. Coil. And try and get a sense in this one that the movement backwards is, again, it's not empty. So really try and fill the backwards movement. Fill the back, and then press it through. So actually, you're maintaining the weight throughout. So my weight just presses the neck, and then presses through. Really get a sense of the weight in the movement, and try and really fill the movement out. So really opening, curling, pressing. Really opening. It's all actually hip work. This is not actually in the hand. Hip. Nice. Good. Good. Okay, very last thing. Because the belt forces you to be one-sided. You can do this with, if I've got a longer belt, I'll put it on my feet and do the movement, and then I can involve both hands. And there's also systems developed for boxers that you have 2 resistance bands here on the legs and 2 in the arms. So this system's actually better, but I don't have it now. So because it's inherently one-sided, all the stuff we've been doing just now freely, just explore both sides. So you've got like Taina Henko movement, Morote Dori, Ikkyo. Just explore both the hands now, and the Urimi Nage. Start to bring the other hand into it. Yeah. This is the lead hand, obviously, but the back hand is also the kind of support. Just play with opening the movements out now, or any kind of koki movement you want. Just explore. Be calmly pressing from the feet. Just extend, kind of a jiwaza with the koki. Right. It's slow, steady, with a good extension. Okay, good. Very good. So the other thing you can also do if you're outdoors, I can't show right now, but fasten it to a tree. So tie it around, tie the belt around a tree, and you can do these kind of motions. So the same kind of way, and it allows both hands to be free. If you're in a house, you can tie it to a doorknob or to something fixed heavy, as long as it's not going to move. So you can do the same movements and just coil it to something and explore a sense of moving while maintaining extension. So you can do the same kind of movements. And in this case, I can also start to explore the Nikyo. So this is where you can start to explore changes in handwork and movements here. Tie it to something. Yeah. You can also, the Nikyo is better with a thicker belt, like a rope, but just use what you've got and you can start to explore. And maybe we'll work on these tomorrow. They're slightly different so that you can explore kind of possibilities of connection with the belt. Yeah? Okay, we'll take a bow out. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Domo. Lost the connection. Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.